Hey everybody, it's Oski McGillicuddy. Brought you here today to talk about Halloween Ends. Possibly, most likely, the most controversial installment in this entire franchise. But before we get into talking about Halloween Ends, for anybody that might be new to this channel, let me just tell you, Halloween has never really been my favorite franchise out of like the big three. I would call the big three Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface. Technically, the Halloween franchise is superior to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, as in that shit's all the fuck over the place just as much as this one's all the fuck over the place. So at least A Nightmare on Elm Street kind of has some consistency, and then Friday the 13th has some consistency to it. This franchise has been rebooted like 4 or 5 times now. I've lost count. I have no idea. I can't count on how many fingers that they've rebooted or just retconned and then redid and then said, hey, we're going to do this now. They did it with Halloween 4. We're going to start it with that because Halloween 3 didn't work out. They had to go back to Halloween 4. Those 3 movies kind of sucked for the most part. I enjoy some of them, like mainly 4 and maybe part 6, but not 5 so much. But who likes 5? Anyway, follow me, will you? So then they did it again with Halloween H2O, which we all know how I feel about that. And if you don't, I've reviewed this franchise. I've ranked this franchise. Anyway, there's the Halloween H2O, and then it had the Resurrection. So that's the second one. And then you had Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween, and we only got 2 of those, and you know why that is. Fucking horse. 3! That's 3 times! Then they did it again. And I guarantee you within the next 2 years they're going to do it again, because then it's going to be the 45th anniversary. The Halloween Ends, now they're going to remake it again probably. Who knows? This is the 4th fucking time they went back to the motherfucking drawing board. They never did that with Friday the 13th. Never did that with Nightmare on Elm Street. I was already fucking aggravated with this franchise by the time we get to, this David Gordon Green guy, he's going to direct a new Halloween that's a direct sequel to the original. And then I wasn't really on board with the story of Laurie Strode still batshit crazy about that night, PTSD out the ass, living in a fortress, teaching her 4-year-old how to shoot a shotgun, all this type shit. I wasn't really on board with that. But Michael was awesome in that movie for being a geriatric fuck. The babysitter and the black kid, I liked them. That was great. That was fun. Even her boyfriend, he was a good, whatever their name was, I can't remember. Even though I just watched it, I just showed all these movies to my mom. Did I mention that? That movie aggravated the fuck out of me. But then Halloween Kills came out. Because, I hated 2018 out the gate in the theater. But then Halloween Kills came out, and I was like, hell yeah, that was way better. Way better. Aside from the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing, that was like beat into my head. And then the more I thought about the movie, after I got out of it, I was like, wait a minute, that was just terrible. It was terrible. The whole chasing that guy that has there's absolutely just no way in hell that anybody would mistake that guy for Michael Myers. No way in hell. The guy wouldn't have got shorter and fatter while he was in the mental hospital. There's just not, it's not, God damn. Sure, there were some great kills. As a story trying to be told, it's just a fucking car wreck, really. Okay? And then we get the Halloween Ends. Okay? And it's pissing everybody off. I've seen some people say some shit that just made me be like, are you serious? Was it really that bad? Because everybody that's a diehard Halloween fan, for the most part, I got a couple people that are like, I was pleasantly surprised. I appreciate them going in a different direction. What is this different direction, you might ask? We open the movie with a completely different character named Corey, who's babysitting for a couple that's going to a Halloween party, a lot like everybody in this franchise. Their parents are constantly going to a Halloween party because Haddonfield fucking loves Halloween. So Corey is babysitting their child. They're just going to make some model airplanes, but turns out the kid wants to watch some monster movies, so I thought this was hilarious. Since they're watching A Thing from Another World and the original Halloween, now they're watching John Carpenter's The Thing. and the babysitter thinks it's a little too scary. God bless his little heart. This little kid's just the worst actor ever, but he tells him that I'm tired of pretending to be best friends with an ugly-ass boy babysitter. He wants to watch the movie. Babysitter's like, nope, this is too gory. We're turning it off. And then they're going to play hide and seek. And the kid, like, makes it look like somebody broke into the house and stole the knife. Because there's a great scene where, that's the thing about this Joseph Gordon-Levitt guy. He's really good at directing movies. But whoever wrote, like, most of the dialogue in the other movies, it's kind of like this was Rob Zombie light, honestly, because there's not as much cursing and stuff, but I could see how it's Rob Zombie-esque, but light. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. Scene shows him cutting some zucchini bread, and then he hears the loud banging. He goes to investigate. There's the lamp knocked over. We come back to find that the knife is gone from the kitchen, but then as he walks up the steps there, it's laying on the steps, so it looks like there's a home invasion. They were just talking about that he's still scared that the boogeyman's out there and that the boogeyman's going to get him, all that bullshit, blah, 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 blah. He gets locked in this room, which at first I thought was a closet, but I'm pretty sure it's just a spare room for storage. And the kid locks him in there and won't let him out, and he starts freaking out and kicking the door, and the kid's out there being a little prick, and the parents are coming home right as they hear him say, I'm going to kill you, and then he kicks the door open, and bam! Kid falls to his death. He gets hauled off in cuffs, put in the back of the cruiser. We cut to now. He's this infamous babysitter killer who's a crazy babysitter, and he killed this kid, even though we know it was an accident because it's technically the kid's fault for locking him in front of the door and then standing in front of the door while he's kicking on it, because obviously. But I thought that scene itself was fucking incredible. Just the camera work, like once he looks over, because this house is awesome with the badass staircase. I mean, I don't remember seeing houses like this in the original Halloween, or where this house fits in on the street that we see in any of these shots, but these people must be loaded or something. Now, Laurie Strode is writing a book. She's writing her memoirs, and I really do like this. Like, this is a good way to, like, sum up the past 40-something years of Halloween with what they cut out of it, you know? Like, she's telling the stuff from the original and then 2018 onward, and she's defeated her demon. She's gotten rid of her boogeyman, but I don't remember who it was that said, they made a great point, that you were a fucking psycho about Michael Myers for 40 years, but now all it took was 4 years to pass with him missing. He was in captivity for 40 years, and you're freaking out, training your 8-year-old daughter how to fire a fucking sniper rifle. And he's locked up. But now that he's out on the loose and you don't know where he is, fuck it. Fuck it! So yeah, she don't know where he is, but she's gotten over it somehow. But Allison's working at this doctor's office / hospital, maybe urgent facility, whatever. Laurie's this grandma that likes to bake and likes to cook and make Sunday supper, all that good stuff. There's a cute scene with her and Frank in the grocery store. We get back to this new character, Corey, and he is in the convenience store trying to decide what he wants to drink. He goes with a delicious chocolate milk, and then he leaves the store, and these kids accost him and be like, hey, we need you to buy some alcohol. Yeah, hey, friend. Things kind of just a little bit off. Just a little bit off, in my opinion. I like this exchange. He squeezes this bottle because these kids are pissing him off because they figure out who he is and they start calling him a baby killer, even though he knows he didn't kill this. He starts making his face. And it was almost laughable. And then here comes Laurie to save him and tell these asshole kids to get out of the way. And they go, oh, it's the freak show meets the psycho killer, or the other way around, whatever. Who cares? You know, you get the point. You've seen the movie. They slash the tires, so that further adds fuel to the feud that these characters are eventually going to have because of not buying the beer. Because Laurie helps him out, you know, slash the tires together, and then she knows who he is, and she knows he's got like a broken past, and she's got a broken past, and her granddaughter's got a broken past, and she can't get Allison to go to this dance that's supposedly going to be happening at a bar or something like that. So she takes Corey to where Allison works to get his hand stitched up. They kind of make a connection, I guess. It's a love connection. The next thing you know, these two are dating. They're kind of hanging out together. And I do really like the scene at the bar, having a great time. And then Corey runs in to the kid's mother that he accidentally killed. So I guess it's aggravated manslaughter. The woman starts harassing him, and which you kind of understand where she's coming from. I mean, she doesn't know, like, she wasn't there. She came in right at the moment that she heard him yelling, "I'll kill you," and then he falls to his death. So what the hell would you think? I mean, I don't necessarily know that I would forgive this kid, so I can understand if somebody doesn't forgive him that doesn't know what really happened, is what I'm getting at. He gets pissed off. He runs outside. He kind of takes it on Allison, even though it wasn't really her fault. She didn't know what was going on. But then the conversation they have about, he's telling her, you don't know this, you don't know that. The town looks at him as a monster, but it looks at her as a hero. Don't even know what they're looking at or something like that. I don't know. But I like the exchange they have. And Allison's burnt out on the town. She's sick and tired of her grandmother trying to run her life. This kid's mother is just like the mother out of Carrie. A lot of people are talking about how this is very reminiscent of Christine and his transformation. My wife, who's a Stephen King nut, said, I don't see that, which I saw that right away. And I did notice the Carrie, like his mother's like Carrie's mother or whatever, how she's overbearing, but that's just an overbearing Jewish mother. So I definitely agree with the whole Christine transformation, because Corey has a transformation, because it's the first 40 to 50 minutes of this movie is following Corey for the most part. Glimpses back into the Strodes, or whatever, if they're still calling themselves the Strodes, I don't even know. This is back into their lives. I really like the fact that Allison has her parents' wedding rings. I thought that was a nice touch. That's very sentimental. I mean, there's a lot of nice touches to this that I think everybody just blatantly ignored, because they went into this like they did Halloween 3, just waiting for Michael Myers, and it just took too long. I mean, it didn't take as long as it did to see Michael Myers in Halloween 3, but Michael Myers is in this movie. Which, let's get to that, because he gets in a fight after he leaves the bar with those kids. These kids act like they're trying to apologize to him and want to shake his hand. Well, he ain't in the fucking mood. That's the other thing. A lot of people don't even realize, or they're probably not paying attention to, is this kid's not in the fucking mood. He just had, something brought a traumatic event up. A traumatic person from his past brought a traumatic event up, and then he had a fight with his girlfriend. So now he's extra over emotionally pissed off, and then these pricks that cut his fucking hand and were pricks for no reason, and one's just got an offensive haircut, in my opinion. I mean, I ought to just slap the shit out of this fucking kid for having his fucking haircut. And just because this movie's still too new, I probably won't be able to find the picture, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I could go on a rant for 15 minutes on this motherfucking haircut. We're not going to do that, though. We're not going to do that. We're going to talk about how they throw him over the bridge, and they think he's dead. And the one girl, Margot, which I feel really bad for her, because it's like, first of all, what the fuck is she doing hanging out with these fucking assholes? And second of all, because of these assholes, she gets killed, and she don't even necessarily, she kept telling them, stop it. Point is, they threw him over the bridge. Somehow, the stupidest part in the fucking movie happens. This is the part I have a problem with. It's like, unless, like, I let my overbearing brain fucking jump in. Okay, I didn't like the fact that he got creepily drugged into the sewer, just mysteriously. Plus, you kind of don't even see Michael dragging him in. It's just he's being sucked into the sewer, which everybody's calling a callback to It, which call it what you want, whatever. It would make sense that Michael is living in a sewer, living off of rats, because if you go back to Halloween Resurrection, everybody's other favorite fucking entry in the franchise, he was living off of rats in the basement since the events of H2O, which we all know how I feel about that. And if you don't, you can go watch my Halloween videos if they're on this channel. And while you're here, like and subscribe. Anyway, god damn it, will you fucking pay attention? I'm trying to tell a story here. So Michael grabs a hold of him by the throat, right? He's been eating rats. He's very weak. It's not like he was in a facility where they were taking care of him for 40 years, so he had his strength up when he was waiting for this night that he escaped. This is quite different. He's been living in a sewer for 4 years. So you think he's going to be able to strangle this kid to death too? I mean, sure, he just keeps getting his ass beat by these fucking teenagers, and then all of a sudden he starts manhandling Michael later on in the movie. I could see why that would piss people off. I mean, it kind of pisses me off, but I understand how it can happen because Michael's been living in a fucking sewer eating rats. After he leaves Michael, he goes to leave the sewer, and the old man tells him that he wants him to go back in the sewer and get that mask because he's Michael Myers. And he tries to stab him, but instead Corey stabs him, blah, blah, blah. Did I mention somewhere along the way that I'm a terrible movie reviewer? Character in here, we're going to forget what we just heard. Actually, remember that because we're going to cut back to it later. Or something. I don't fucking know. Allison gets pulled over kind of early on in the movie, and there's this cop who's probably twice her age and is, you know, nowhere in her league. And he's kind of like, how come you didn't call me, huh? You know, you should call me. I'm going to use my authority to fucking pull you over, not calling me. And also, I want to let you know that your muffler's fucked up. But anyway, that's beside the point. This guy is just... Is that not creepy? I mean, who the fuck... I mean... Yeah. So, that fucking guy. So, fast forward back. Allison and Corey are in the diner. He's getting fed up with being in this town. He's finally felt, you know, what it's like to kill somebody, even though he did it in self-defense, so it technically doesn't count, but it kind of counts, I guess, because he's killed somebody, but, you know, he's not like he's a cold-blooded murderer yet. They go to this diner, and then there's this tense scene where, like, the fucking asshole cop comes over and starts interrupted him pretty much, and he tells him that they're fine, and then she's like, oh, yeah, and then he says they were fine, and then he says, we said we're fine, or something like that. I really like that scene, because then that leads to him following Corey after he leaves the diner, because, I mean, he keeps telling Allison, we got to get out of here, light the match, we'll burn it down, and that's what I was kind of expecting to happen, honestly. Before we get into the rest of what happens, wouldn't that have been a crazy turn of events if Allison joined Corey and then they just went and lit the town on fire before just getting the hell out of there? And then that's how Halloween ends. Corey's leaving the diner. He's on his way home. He thinks that got Allison in the bag. They're playing it. He's getting ready to seal the deal, so to speak. And there's a car following him. Sure enough, it's that asshole police officer, basically luring him down there to the tunnel where Michael Myers is. And then there's this scene that I thought worked for me. He holds the cop down while Michael kills him, but he tells him, show me how to do it. Show me your moves. Thus spirals Corey's character completely out of control, because there's some other stuff that we find out. There's this really annoying girl that never shuts up and talks to Allison like she's not even in the room, and I applauded in the theater when Allison asked her if she ever shuts her goddamn mouth, because, you know, I like that. I really like the fact that Corey sees that scarecrow mask, and he uses that mask to do his first practice kill, I guess. It's kind of a practice kill, because he invites Michael, which is kind of, I mean, a little far-fetched, but you gotta understand, Michael ain't got his strength up, and this kid brought him somebody to kill. And now he's taking him somewhere to kill more. And you know, Michael loves nothing more than killing bitches. I love this scene, though, where they just tag team the doctor and this bitch who basically swept up and stole Allison's promotion because she's banging the doctor for her career advancement. And I just like this scene. And I thought these people were scumbags. They deserve to die. So technically, I don't know. Don't worry about it. There's also this great scene, which I skipped over, where they're on top of the tower. I mean, there's so much to talk about in this movie. That's why I don't know why nobody likes it. Well, I don't know why nobody likes this movie, man. Y'all are fucking dumb. I'm sorry. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But anyway, they got the radio DJ that comes out, and I just love every word out of his mouth. And then how he tells him, fuck off my property if I kick or if I fuck y'all up. Just excellent. A wonderful character. And he's also the DJ that you keep hearing on the radio. And they've been playing some music. There's a couple songs I like, but the soundtrack in this movie is not memorable at all. The score is not memorable at all. So there are some gripes I have with this movie. Even though I thoroughly enjoyed, like, I was not bored at all in this movie. Everybody's talking about this movie's slow, blah, 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 blah. He's killed all these people. And he's trying to get Allison to come with him. And then Laurie starts to notice the fucking kid ain't right. She stares out the window, which is reminiscent of her staring out her bedroom window in the original. And he's there, but then he's not there. Then he's got a little spooky jump scare. He gets her. That's when she notices he's pretty far gone and starts telling Allison, I don't want you seeing him. Goes as far as to go to his mother's house and doesn't really explain to her what the hell's really going on. But her mother gets offended by the fact that her charming, or he's a sensitive, good-looking boy who she kisses on the mouth. I got to talk about the scene where he kills his bullies, because it's pretty badass. I mean, there's one scene, they go back to the junkyard, and there's a scene where he kills the asshole of the bunch, and, you know, the rest of them, they get decent enough kills, you know, the ones off screen, but the one where he takes that torch and just shoves it in his mouth. It's not my fault that Corey gets the best kills of this movie. It's not my fault. Like I said, Michael's been living in a fucking sewer eating rats for 4 fucking years, and nobody wants to take that into consideration because it can't take 5 minutes to pull it. I'm sorry. That kill's absolutely amazing. It's incredible. And then he goes to the radio station where, I mean, I don't care if you thought this was the worst movie you've ever seen. You cannot deny me that even though it was Corey and not Michael Myers, it was Corey dressed up like Michael Myers, smashing the DJ's face in and then cutting his tongue off. I had to make my mom close her eyes because I didn't want her having nightmares. That kill was fucking awesome. Probably one of the best kills I've seen in a horror movie. The brutality, the graphicness. The graphicness, is that a word? Don't worry about that. Worry about the fact that he's on the fucking warpath. And his next target is Laurie Strode. But then, out of the blue, Laurie calls the police and reports a suicide. So you're thinking, well, goddamn it, nothing else I've seen so far except for that end fight. Well, I haven't seen the end fight yet. She kept seeing that end fight in the trailer, so you knew it was going to happen. So it's like, why is she saying she's going to kill herself? It was a ruse so that she could get the drop on Corey. She said, do you really think that I would kill myself? Which, there is one thing I want to bring up while it's in my brain. She never does say a line that's in the trailer, which I thought was garbage, because I forgot to make a trailer reaction to this video, or to this movie. But she says, maybe the only way he can die is if I can die, or is if I die too. And that is not in the movie at all, anywhere to be found. But what is in the movie is, apparently everybody's gripe with this movie that sort of enjoyed it is the fact that Corey kills himself. But apparently they weren't paying attention, because they were having this conversation when he was sleeping in the house where the accident happened, where he was talking about if he can't have her, nobody can. And knowing that she's already stressed out and overbeared by grandmother, he figures, here she comes, there's only one thing left to do. He sticks a knife in his neck. And I thought it was fucking brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But then they kind of like didn't go as far with it as they could have. Allison comes back and discovers it, and then she leaves, but only discovers that there's a fire at the radio station, and that the station, obviously Michael's not going to go out of his way to go to the radio station. She knew that Corey had beef with him. I fucked it up so bad. I'm sorry, everybody. But anyway, so Corey's dead, all right? He's dead. We followed him this whole time for fucking nothing. Everybody's fucking pissed off. They want to know where the fuck Michael Myers is. Well, here's Michael Myers. Too little, too late, I guess, as everybody is kind of saying. And they have their little final battle, which a lot of people say that it wasn't climactic. And a lot of people are saying it was good enough for me. And I'm one of the people that think that it's good enough for me. You got to think these people are like 65-something years old. Okay? They can't be running around doing a bunch of stunts. Even though I know it's just movie magic and stuff. But how fucking far-fetched can we fucking get? This is the whole point of me having a problem with this whole goddamn timeline to fucking begin with. At least this one had a unique story that I could have followed that is reminiscent of a Halloween story that could have been like, you know, if the franchise would have just kept on with the anthology shit after 3 instead of switching to 4 and leading to 5, which fucked up the franchise, which led to fucking H2O, which led to Resurrection, and fucked up the franchise, which led to Rob Zombie remaking it and then doing a sequel to that movie, which fucked up the franchise, and now they done did this shit, and apparently it's fucked up the franchise. They had a wonderful little send-off fight, but I'll tell you what I would have did. I would have had him strangling Laurie because they had, you know, their tussle in the kitchen, and she, you know, stuck him to the island like he was Jesus on the cross. But he had her by the throat. You know, he pulled his hand out, which was badass. Pulled his hand out of the knife, grabbed her by the throat. He should have choked her to death while he was bleeding out. And then once they came and found Laurie's dead body laying over his supposedly dead body, then they could have did what they did, where they take him out, strap him to the roof of the car, and the police say, this ain't how we do things, and the sheriff said, well, hell yeah, it is tonight. Because this movie's over, and so is this fucking franchise. Because they, and I love this. I love that they got everybody from the 2018 and everybody's life who they have affected, because I had forgot to mention that the lady that got stabbed with the light and kills survived. So, you know, that's a nice touch. And then having everybody do a progression, and then have a wake, so to speak, and just kick him into this metal grinder, and just some of the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in my life, because that was nasty looking. It looked realistic. Like, that's the thing about this trilogy, though, that I will give props. Everything looks super genuinely real. Like, you know, anytime somebody gets stabbed or shot in the neck, and the way the blood comes out, it looks like something that would probably be real. I ain't never seen nobody shot in real life, but I can imagine that's what the shit looks like. And then when they slit his wrist, I almost had to close my fucking eyes. So I was thinking about, because of some of the dumb shit that I noticed even more the second time, I was going to take off another half a point, but I'm sticking at a solid 7. And if you got a problem with that, you got 2 options. You can either go fuck yourself, or you can kiss my fucking ass. Whichever one you want to do. Anyway, I'm sorry if this video has pissed anybody off, but if it hasn't pissed you off, please remember to like, subscribe, share the video so that I can become famous on the internet like my friends over at those other channels that y'all love so much. Anyway, see you.